evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Lucky Dog Truck Series Thursday. 100 laps here from Nashville Motor Speedway, all lined up for you. So before we get too deep in anything, let's go ahead and get through our starting lineup. Starting in first, we have the 78 of Gary Slapinski. Starting to his outside, we have the number 25 of Mark Berry. In third is the 43 of Sandy Curtis. In fourth is the number 9 of John Held. Starting in fifth is the 51 of Craig Mayer. To his outside in seventh will be the 777 of Michael Pegg. Starting in seventh, we have the 33 of Gary Ragland. And in eighth, we have the 129 of Tim Kraus. Starting ninth, we have the 111 of John Henderson. To his outside in 10th will be the 4 of Larry Eddy. Starting in 11th, we have the 126 of Robert Hooligan. And in 12th, we got the 59 of Ralph Blair. In 13th, we got the 52 of Gary Whitmer Sr. And 14th, we have the 50 of Todd Willis. In 15th, we have the 19 of Ben Gear. In 16th, we have the 89 of Mr. Randolph Richard. In 17th, we have the 40 of Timothy Woodson. And in 18th, we have the 38 of David Faschultz. Starting in 19th is the 6 of Brian Pierce. And finally, we have the... I'll see if I can get a little better shot of these guys. Maybe, maybe not. All right, here we go. Let's try it from here. Nope, not at all. All right, well, and 19th, we have the 6 of Brian Pierce, and in 20th, we have the 91 of Mr. Joel Guy. Go back, pop back up here to the front. Like I said, 100 laps here from Nashville Superspeedway. Absolutely love this track. I'm still having some computer issues myself. I want to talk about one of the tracks I love running with these guys. If I had to pick the one I wanted to run here in the truck series in Lucky Dog to call from the vehicle, Nashville would be at the top of my list. I think it's probably one of the tracks I enjoy running in iRacing the most. It's so deceptively fast. Talking with some of these guys in the practice session before we got going, looking like a lot of these guys are fighting a little bit with loose conditions in the trucks. It's a midday, afternoon-ish race. This track is hot. It is slick. So these guys are going to be fighting loose vehicles for quite a while. Then they start wearing out that right front. It's going to really start getting tight. Gary Slapinski leads him here into the Geico restart zone. Green flag is out, down, and away. Excellent start from that bottom lane. Looked like Gary got a little bit of a bump with the 43 just before they got going. That really shot the 78 out. Down and away. Ahead already. He is cleared and brought Sandy with him. Cleared that top lane. Sandy though got a little bit of bottom and brought him back into striking distance of the 25. 25 is able to get past. Going into turn 3. Number 9, John Held, looking to capitalize there along the outside. They are 3 wide back there for that 5th position. Go ahead and take a look back here. Michael Pegg, he was side by side with the 51 and the 129. He dropped it back and lets it go. Now that John Held his way around the of Sandy Curtis. The outside, oh, we got a caution. That looks like the 129 of Kim Kraus and the 51. Yes, that is the 51. Looks like we are staying green there below the yellow line. 51 gets it back up and away. I believe we are still green. Both these guys got back out. We'll go ahead and take a look at that. I think they both got loose coming off the corner. So go ahead and we'll watch here from the 129. Kim just gets loose up there on the top. That's what we're talking about. These trucks not the most stable on fresh tires. He just collected the 51. Both these guys still out here, still pointing in the right direction, but they are 16, 17 seconds respectively back. Both of them probably with a little bit of body damage on these trucks. They're able to get that fixed before too long. Power their way back to the front. trucks have 60 laps of fuel. So they'll be able to make it well past halfway. So these guys head maybe a little earlier, around like 40, 45. Might be able to make it some time on the guys ahead of them. Of course, their tires will be fairly old once the full pit cycle goes around. We head back here to the lead. Gary Slapinski checking out. Second already. Second place, Mark Berry there in the 25. Mark's doing his best to not let Gary go. He's enjoying the battle behind him. The 9 of John Held and the 43 of Sandy Curtis still going at it. John Held past Sandy. But we've seen Sandy Curtis is a hard guy to hold off. He gets that good run. I expect to see him dive to the inside of John Held in one of these corners. Looks like he's thinking about it, decides against it. But what they may be doing is they may be working together to try and track down this 25 car, see if they can go ahead and challenge for that second place. And all of this, though, you guys continue to battle here for third. Back to the fourth place car, Michael Pegg. He's fallen back 2.5 seconds already off the lead. So remember, he backed out of it. He saw something brewing around the trucks behind him, so he had to get out of that throttle to avoid becoming part of it. Good heads-up drive from Michael Pegg there as he works on trying to build a gap between himself and Gary Racking. I'll see him track down that 43 truck. Behind him, it looks like just about everything is single filed out. 52, Gary Whitmer Sr. and the 19 of Ben Gear. All these guys running single file. 11, John Henderson behind them. Just sort of ride and get a really good feel for these trucks, see if they can, where they can push it, where they can not push it. It's a very abrasive track. We know brick levels are going to drop dramatically as this run goes on. Very easy to overdrive the corners in these trucks. Not something any of these guys really want to do. We're talking about it for a little bit. The 9 and the 43 working together, they've already really closed up the gap between themselves and the 25. Mark Berry looked like before, another lap or two, he'll be fully under fire. The 9 of John Held to take that second position. He's bringing that 43 of Sandy Curtis with him. Both these guys working very, very well together as they go down into turn 3. It's definitely a track where if you get beside someone, you need to complete that pass as soon as possible. You cannot afford to be stuck on someone's outside for too long. You can't afford to be stuck on their inside for too long. It's already an abrasive enough track. You don't want to be dealing with extra tire wear on the line that's really not conducive to long-term speed. But at the same time, I think John Held here is experiencing that brick wall of air. Nashville is notorious for having a hard wall of air that you just hit behind another vehicle. You can't quite overcome it. So what you got to do is you just got to wait for the other guy to really run his stuff out. What it looks like this 25 is doing here, Mark Berry's, he's taking care of that truck. He's not fallen too much further back behind Gary Slapinski since we really started talking about all this. He's only 1.1 seconds back, so he's close enough to get a nice pole. Now 1.2 seconds back. A nice pole from Gary Slapinski, but he's far enough back that dirty air is not going to be affecting him anywhere near as much as John Held's going to be affected by the dirty air of Berry. The difference in the tire saving strategy, we've seen that out of drivers like Jacob Edston and Craig Mayer. We've seen that a few times. John Held, we've mentioned several times talking to him, trying to save tires, not pushing the truck too hard, trying to save something for the end. Sometimes you end up saving much, the guys out in front of you get far away. John Held, we know he's saving, making sure he's got some tires the longer we go into this particular run. Speaking of, we're going to go ahead, we're going to ride along with the 9 of John Held for a couple laps once we get to turns 3 and 4. This track, a lot of fun, very unique when it comes to getting around it. Less than a mile and a half. I think it's a mile and a third. Go ahead and we'll ride along with the 9 of John Held. John here going for that pass on Mark Berry. We saw that going into turn 3. Was not able to clear him through 3 and 4. The most interesting thing is you got to pay attention to how these guys are running through these corners. You heard how much John Held is off the throttle. 25 goes for the cutback down the backstretch, kind of taking the second place back from John. John though got that outside lane. 25 is not gonna be able to slide up. John holds on to that second place. Behind them, Michael Pegg able to get past Sandy Curtis for 4th. He's coming, trying to make sure that he doesn't lose too much time to the leader. That side-by-side action 9 and 25 had, that backed them up a full 2 seconds off of Gary Sapinski. So if they're going to catch him, they either have to work together or it's going to be done entirely off the pace of the 9. We'll see what John Held is able to do. You heard how long John Held was out of the throttle. He rolled most of turns 1 and 2, most of 3 and 4, feathering that throttle once he started getting about halfway, through turn 2, about feathering about a third of the way through turn 4. So he's definitely running a tire saving strategy. He already pulled a 10th of a second back on Gary Sapinski, only 1.9 instead of 2 seconds flat. So he's definitely running that tire saving strategy. The longer this goes, that's really going to pay dividends. See, what he's hoping is the 78 is currently racing at less than 100%. Gary Sapinski here under the weather, though not under the weather enough that he couldn't put it on the pole and then walk away with the lead. And that looks like exactly what he's doing his best to go ahead and build that gap between himself and the 9 that John Held. We'll take a second little ride with our race leader Gary Sapinski here. See the difference between himself and the 9 and how they're running this track. That right there was a couple laps with Gary Sapinski and a couple laps with John Held. You can hear the difference in how these two are running this track. You can hear Gary Sapinski very easy getting out of the throttle, very easy getting back in the throttle. You can hear how long the 9 is just rolling the corner, doing what he can to really protect that right front tire. Unfortunately, what that's doing is it's backing him up a little bit. He's now, instead of 2 seconds behind, he's now getting close to 2.5 seconds behind. So he's definitely losing time. This is also backing him up to the 777 of Michael Pegg, currently running in 3rd place behind the 9 of John Held. We know exactly what he's doing. He's saving tires. Gary Sapinski is out there just running his race the way that he runs it. very confident in the capabilities of his truck. Definitely looks like it's really settled in for him. He's really getting into that groove. He really starts to pull away at 2.6 over John Held now. As we mentioned, these guys have close to 60 laps of fuel, so they'll be able to make it to the halfway mark with no issue. And we know Gary Sapinski, he likes to take it a little bit longer than just about everyone else. He may end up running this tank dry. I do not know. We'll see how it goes. Most of this appears as though it has really single filed out, but I think a little further back, I do believe we do have some side-by-side action. Right here, I believe we are fighting a 3-car battle for that 5th position. The 25, Mark Berry, the 50th, Todd Willis, and the 4, Larry Eddy. 25 just cannot catch a break. All these people looking to pass him. He's up way high for Larry Eddy, going for that cutback down the backstretch, trying to take that 6th position. Looks like he's able to get there. If he's able to stay clear, I expect that 25 to try and make a cutback to his own going down the front stretch. Thought about it, just did not have the momentum to get it where he wanted. That drops your outside back to the 7th position. Not certain, maybe he ran it a little too hard, really wore out that tire, but he's been side by side with a lot of people this evening. And that is not good for the lifespan tires on these trucks. The 4 here, Larry Eddy sets his sights on the 50, Todd Willis. Todd like, no, go back to fighting each other, leave me alone. Larry Eddy looking to make up as much ground as he can. Out back to battle for 2nd place, the 9 of John Held, overtaken by the 777 of Michael Pegg. And that'll give the 9 a little bit of help here. He'll have someone who can pull him down the straightaways because he was losing quite a bit of time to Gary Sapinski. The side-by-side action these two had dropped them back another full second on Gary, who's now 3.7, almost 4 full seconds out ahead of these guys. They definitely seem to be getting in the corner faster than Gary. Gary getting out of the corners faster. Again, both these guys hoping that 78 is not running at full capacity right now. So ahead we go back to our battle here for the 5th position. For the most part, we're fairly strung out. Only 3 laps in, we're fairly strung out. A lot of single file racing. And people just looking to get a run on the guy ahead of him. Larry Eddy trying to get as good a run as he can. He's a full lane down from the 50. Todd Willis taking advantage of all the clean air he can find. He's getting some good runs. He's getting well close to the 50, trying to get the 50 to make mistakes. He's diving down low. Just not quite able to get to that corner panel of Todd to force him to run a much higher lane than maybe he's comfortable with. This is the closest I think the 4 has been all race. Looking low, 50 is going to go ahead and slide up just a little bit, not too much. Then I say that, and he takes it all the way to the outside. That should give him a nice run, try and get a cutback on the 4 for turn 3, but does not appear that he's got the run he needs. Larry Eddy able to walk away from that with the 5th position as he starts to pull away from Todd Willis. Sets his sights on the 43 of Sandy Curtis ahead of him. Sandy running a fairly solid race. He's 7.5 seconds back. So he's probably pushed that truck just a little bit too hard, a little bit too early. He's way up the track there. On corner exits, that truck is definitely plowing. Doesn't look like there's much, if any, connection with the wall, so I believe that his truck is fine. Maybe pushing things a little bit hard. Nashville Superspeedway is very hard on the equipment. Concrete surface, very abrasive. You got to be very careful when you're running here. You really lose a lot of, not just a lot of time, but a lot of capability in your vehicle as the race goes on. We're going to drop back here a little bit. I mean, 34 laps into this race. We're going ahead and look at this fight here. Looks to be I think that is 11th position. 6 of Brian Pierce, 52, Gary Whitmer Sr., 89 of Randolph Richard, and I do believe, who else would that be? I believe that is the 40 of Timothy Woodson. All these guys here fighting for what they can get. See, they're 14 seconds back, and that's kind of the way this track works, especially in these trucks. Air, clean air is so important. These guys have almost none of it. So that's really hurting their lap time because they don't have that clean air, they don't have the downforce. That's hurting the grip in these trucks. That's hurting their lap time. So you go ahead and we take a second to take a look. 9 at John Held already come down pit road. He is away. This is definitely early. We've seen about 60 laps of fuel in these trucks, so he will have to make another stop. Unless he's able to save from here on out, but I do believe he and the 43 of Sandy Curtis, yes, the 43 of Sandy Curtis, both these guys came down pit road with the, I don't believe the 129 of Kim Kraus came down pit road. I believe he's a lap down because of the contact earlier. But John Held, Sandy Curtis, and that was the other guy, 25 of Mark Berry. He came down pit road. All these guys with 4 tires of fuel trying to make up that time they were losing to Gary Sapinski. Gary, though, still out. He knows how much he still has in this race. Now, the interesting thing, we know the lap times are falling. It's a concrete track. These lap times fall fairly fast. They fall fairly dramatically. I want to say, you know, Gary's fastest time here was a 30.05. I'd be willing to bet if I had everything still up, his last time by was something like a 32-second lap. So he's slowed way down. These guys who pitted on lap 35. Question is, the speed they're making up on the track right now, is it the long-term speed they need to walk away and win and finish this race? I mean, they're going to have to stop a second time. How much time is Gary Sapinski going to lose to these guys on the track? We know the 9 to John Held is fast. I mean, he's already working his way past the 33 here of Gary Ragland, who's running in 5th, and he's 13 seconds back. So, and that 9 has already pulled out about a half second on him. So that 9, probably closer to 12 and a half seconds would be my guess behind the leader. He's going to be gaining about 2 seconds a lap, somewhere in that ballpark, for quite a while on Gary. The big question, what is the play? Was pitting early what you needed to do? You're not going to win doing the exact same thing the leader is, especially if the leader is pulling away from you. John Held looking to maybe flip the script. You never know until you gamble. You heard me say it before. You never know which gamble is the right gamble until that checkered flag flies. Now, if we have a caution, that's going to put those guys who pitted in a little bit of a weird spot because they're going to need, I mean, one of them obviously is a lucky dog. They'll be able to come down pit road, 4 tires and fuel. But the guys behind them will have to stay out to get their wave around. They take that wave around, and they might not be able to pit except for under green, and that'll really hurt them definitely in the long run. More than likely go back a lap down, having to deal with older tires than everyone ahead of them. Everyone here hoping that we stay green for the entire duration of the race. That will help everybody's strategies. 129 to Kim Kraus slides high to left 37 and Michael Pegg go. So we have other people who have volunteered to come down pit road. I believe 52, Gary Whitmer Sr. He's currently showing 2 laps down. I believe he came down pit road for 4 tires and fuel. John Held still not quite in that lucky dog position. He's got to catch that 129 to Kim Kraus. Now, I do believe he's only about 2 turns behind Kim. He's definitely running faster. Kim exiting turn 2. John Held just now exiting down turn 2 onto the back stretch. So he's got to catch Kim to get that lucky dog position. And he is a-coming. Go ahead, Kim Kraus down pit road to get his service. Now, this is the question. I believe Kim Kraus, he's currently showing a lap down. He'll go another lap down here under green, but him pitting when he has, he should be able to make it to the end of the race from here on fuel. And that's exactly what he's going to need, especially if he goes ahead and he does a fast repair on that to fix the damage from that contact with the 51 earlier. He is there putting another lap down by Gary Sapinski. Michael Pegg here doing what he can. He was 4.2. He's now 3.6 seconds back. This Gary's race is probably going to open that up as they go down the straightaway here. Gary opens it up to 3.8. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to split the middle and say Michael Pegg's about 3.7 seconds back on average. He's going to be doing, well, maybe 3.8 because it's 4.0 now. Who knows? That 78 still showing a lot of speed, even on the age these tires are. I bet you he is rolling the vast majority of the corner at this point. Taking a look, 129 at Kim Kraus still on pit road. He is down and away now. Do you believe the 129 is showing 3 laps down? So he's probably taking his optional repairs there from that contact he had. Gary Sapinski coming around, see if he can put him another lap down. That 129 going to have a lot of speed on those fresh tires, though. Let's take a look at our lucky dog race. Number 9 of John Held. Appears that he is far out and away. We'll go ahead and take a look at Sandy Curtis. Sandy Curtis just now getting out of turn 2. John Held ahead of him, going through turns 3 and 4. He has caught Michael Pegg, who is coming down pit road himself right now. Now, here's a great thing. Michael Pegg can make it from here. He knows he can. He's got to pit earlier than Gary to make up that time. But Gary Sapinski, the longer he stays out, the fresher his tires are going to be. So you're really looking at a gamble. Who is doing what the right way? We'll see. 50 of Todd Willis here inherits the second position. And I do believe that really chops down the number of guys here on the lead lap. To take a look, I believe Timothy Woodson in the 40. The last car currently on a lead lap, but everybody else has come down pit road. The 9 of John Held showed he's on the lead lap. The 78 of Gary Sapinski, while we were going through the field there, he has opted to come down pit road. So John Held has unlapped himself. Those tires being what they are, I expect him to take the lead. Not certain how much longer, how long he can hold it. He's currently shown in the 9th position, the 111 of John Henderson. He's out getting his lap led. Now, this is the interesting thing. Does John Henderson take it long? If he takes it long, he doesn't have to worry about coming to pit. Later on, he'll have fresher tires and everyone else around him. 89 of Randolph Richard trying to keep up, make sure that he's able to get that lap led when the 111 comes down pit road. Looks like the 6 of Brian Pierce has opted to come down pit road, take his service. So you go back to the 111 of John Henderson. He's slowly pulling away from that 89 of Randolph Richard. Randolph trying to track him down. He's got a rookie mirror, the 50 of Todd Willis. Todd Willis here on fresh tires. Probably going to try to make this one stick around the outside. It looks like he's going to be able to get there. Clears the 89 well before corner exit. Got that 38 truck behind him. Nationals also on fresh tires. John Henderson continues to lead this field. He went high to let the 129 of Kim Kraus go. Kim Kraus on fresh tires himself. So that's going to go ahead. Going to drop him back a little bit closer to the 89. A lot of these guys here just coming around getting their laps back. John Henderson definitely getting closer to the end of the run. Really looking to maybe run this one out. No, coming down pit road here. Gets it woed up very well, hits pit road speed. So he'll be taking his service. We'll take a look back, 78 at Gary Sapinski. He's 12 seconds back here currently, coming out of turn 4 right here. So he'll go ahead and pass the 111 for the lead. Well, for position, I should say. Continues his march forward to try and catch that 9 of John Held. I believe the 111 is going to get away with this. He should be able to get down and away before he goes a lap down to these guys. We'll see. Take a look at the 9 of John Held, who will inherit the lead more than likely when the 89 comes down pit road. As he has, so that goes ahead and that gives a lead to the number 9 of John Held. Currently 1.4 seconds out ahead of Gary Sapinski. Now, this is sort of what we were talking about a little bit earlier. His tires are about, Gary came down 15. I want to say it's about 15 laps older than your leader, Gary Sapinski. Sorry, than your second place truck, Gary Sapinski. And so that may end up hurting him here in the long run, but he does get his lap lead right here under green. Does a bonus point to the 9. Gary Sapinski has caught him. He was 1.4 back. Start of the lap, he is now right there passing him on the inside. Nothing John Held can do. The drive that 78 truck has on those fresh tires, really more than John can compensate. The question is, how long does he want to be out on these tires before he comes back down? Does he have enough fuel to make it to the end? With that kind of time loss, he may be looking at going a lap down. Probably not if he stays out. If he comes down pit road, he will definitely go a lap down. I'm not certain if he'll be able to get that back. Take a look a little bit further back in third place, that 25 of Mark Berry. Remember, he came down around about the same time with Sandy Curtis. He's 6 seconds back. He really came out ahead. Now, this is kind of crazy. 777 of Michael Pegg, remember, he pitted from the second position. He's currently showing in 5th, 7 seconds back. Remember, he came down before Gary. He's lost time, so I wonder if maybe he had a little bit of a sideways moment. Maybe he's just getting past the traffic ahead of him. He's just getting on off pit road. Not certain. He dives here to the inside of Sandy Curtis for that 4th position. He's able to just about, not quite clear. I think he's clear now. Yes, he is. He's clear all the way up on Sandy Curtis. So that gives the 777 firmly that 4th position as he goes to see if he can get past that 25 of Mark Berry. And at the closing rate he's got, I expect he'll get past him in relatively short order, similar to how he passed Sandy Curtis. 25 keeping it up high, letting the fresher tires on that 47 go. That'll put Michael Pegg up into the 3rd position as he sets his sights about 4 seconds ahead to the number 9 of John Held. John Held, that Coors Light Sterling Marlin. I believe that Sterling Marlin drove the Coors Light car. I don't know, it's been a hot minute, but it's that Coors Light truck making his way into turn 3, only about 3 seconds ahead of Michael Pegg right now. 5 seconds back on Gary Sapinski. How much time can he afford to lose before he brings it down pit road for his last service, unless he's saving and is able to make it to the end, in which kudos. I don't think I'd be able to save that much gas. Not unless he's clutching it all the way through both corners. Let's go ahead and ride John Held one more time this evening, see what he's doing. definitely not saving fuel. See, he's putting a lot of wheel in that truck, not able to really get down to that yellow line effectively. That's backing him up 7.5 seconds to Gary Sapinski. Right, just a little less than a second in front of Michael Pegg. Michael going to be on him relatively quickly. Not certain what this 78's got. He seems like he's running a completely different truck than the rest of these guys. He sets his sights some guys ahead of him. Take a look back here. Some of the fights for position. Ben here racing against 51 and Craig Mayer here for the 10th position. Both of these guys about 24 seconds back from the leader. They are racing as hard as they can. They want to get out, make up as much time as possible. Michael Pegg, he's tracking Gary Sapinski down the best he can. Gary Sapinski coming on these guys with a full head of steam. He's got 9 seconds on Michael Pegg, 24 seconds on Ben Gear here. See, the 51 of Craig Mayer was able to get by the 19 on the 52. Gary Cooper Sr. now is trying to get that thing going in the right direction, get away from Gary Sapinski. He does not want to go a lap down. Obviously, purposefully leading all 100 laps in the race. Back here to our number 6 of Brian Pierce racing side by side with Gary Ragland. These guys currently very essentially dangerous position, 25, 26 seconds back respectively, trying to make up that time. Back one more spot here to 59 of Ralph Blair, currently shown as our last truck on the lead lap. You see, go ahead and ride for his gearbox. That black truck out back, that's your leader. He is closing. He's trying to get out there and make up that time. All while we're talking about that, the number 9 of John Held, he came down pit road for his last set of, well, what should be his last stop. So he's going to be doing everything he can to get back up there. Remember, he was 10 seconds back. That's about a third of a track here on our leader. He's going to have to pedal extremely hard, not just to get that lap back, but go ahead and get back around Gary Sapinski. What he's going to do before the end of this race, he's going to have to make up, I'm going to say, a lap and a half in order to be able to, 2 laps, something like that, in order to be able to, no, lap and a half. He's going to have to make up a lap and a half to be able to challenge Gary Sapinski for that lead. Speaking of, where is going here into turn 1? So I was right, a lap and a half. That number 9 car is going to track that 78 down and pass him twice. That is no small task. He's got a bunch of trucks ahead of him that are a lap down. The 40 of Timothy Woodson here 2 turns ahead of him. The 111 of John Henderson in 11. Quite a ways ahead of him as well, but also we consider the fact that Gary Sapinski not driving slow. He's really pulling up on this 59 and this 33, looking to put one of them up the lap down. Trying to keep as many trucks between John Held and himself a lap down and really make John not be able to take advantage of that lucky dog position. This race is fairly spread out. We are lap 70 of 100. Long green flag run, left seeing green flag stops. So really, with the strategy, really changes things up. Look ahead, looks like a few other people opt to come down pit road. Brian Pierce here, up in the 6th position. Now this 6th position, though, is only 26 seconds ahead of our leader. If the pace continues as is, looking down the barrel of a Gary Sapinski here before too long, looking to put him a lap down. I believe there's about a straightaway separating these two. Z89, they're trying to work his way around the 6. I believe the 89 probably has fresher tires. As long as these two are side by side. The more they're just going to get backed up to our leader, something neither one of them wants. Brian Pierce takes it up high. That 89. Clear him here before corner exit. They can get hooked up, front, nose to tail. They should be able to make up a little bit of time here. Hopefully they're able to. Take a look back at that 52 here, senior looking on. Now, he's hoping they can run it side by side. He's, no, get that 6 back here. I want that position he's got. Behind them, the 19 and the 59. Still racing each other here for this 8th position. But in all of that, look who caught him. These two side by side, two wide, side by side. That 78 really nowhere to go unless he wants to try and shoot the middle. That's not something you ever want to do here unless you are on the freshest of tires. He dives in here at the bottom. He'll be able to get the inside of the 19, but that 59 is going to hold him up. Now what that'll do, that's something. Michael Pegg back in seconds like, yes, please hold Gary up. Help me catch him. They're not able to hold Gary Sapinski off here, able to hold it down there along the bottom of the track. Gets a very good run. It's the inside of Ralph Flair. Just able to clear him. Now go ahead with the 19 and the 59 a lap down. Ralph Flair thinking about making a move, trying to get his lap back. Opts against it. Saw how quickly that 78 truck went by. Gary here now sets his sights on the 52. Gary Sr. Go ahead and we'll check in with that number 9 to John Helm. This is where he's at. He is just exiting turn 2. The 52, who's about to go a lap down, he's getting ready to go in turn 1. So that is the deficit. John Helm is going to make it up here. It's looking like maybe that gamble is not going to pay off. I do not believe the 78 or the 777 or the 50 have to stop all the time. 50 might. I don't think he does. I don't think he does, though. Let's go ahead. We're going to ride along with our leaders who negotiates this lap traffic here. really seeing how much these guys are having to baby the trucks around that track. We went ahead and ran a few laps with the top three, Gary Sapinski, Michael Pegg, and Todd Willis. These guys got their hands full with these trucks. Gary Sapinski definitely seeming like he's got the easiest time of it here, and how long, Michael Pegg here, how long he was out of the throttle. He's really having to roll this truck, almost like there is just nothing left. And I bet you this truck does not want to turn at all. Todd Willis having a similar issue. And Michael Pegg did have a little bit there where he was getting passed by the 9, trying to run down the field, see if he can get his lap back. Unfortunately, I do not believe that is to be here. It's Brian Pierce in 6th place as our last truck on the lead lap. I'm going to go ahead and say Gary Sapinski said he was sick. He's 78 here. I don't know if he's drinking daily quill, night quill, do it all quill, I don't know. But he has it together. He is running away with this one. 9.2 seconds up on Michael Pegg. 15 laps to go left in this race. As he goes and he passes the 89, I believe that is, of Randolph Richard, putting him 2 laps down. As his sights a little bit further here on the 6. Speaking of the 6th, Brian Pierce, our head lead admin, took a few seasons off from Lucky Dog, handled some, not only some personal things, but make some changes to the league to try and make it better than it ever has been. We added the broadcast, put a broadcaster in the broadcast. We really looking at race control, just someone to go and look and see, not too many incidents that we have, but looking at race control currently. Try and keep one guy a race up in the booth. Sort of like a rotation volunteer thing, but one guy is up there. Just go ahead and keep an eye on the race in action. Review any cautions if there are any, though tonight, green flag for 88 laps. Brian Pierce here making a lot of changes behind the scenes. And as he explains it, being a league owner to something like Lucky Dog, doing as many things as Lucky Dog does, 6 nights a week, we have races and a variety of vehicles, mostly oval races, but still that it is a second full-time job on top of what he already does. So hats off to that number 6 here, running well inside the top 10. Especially if you're not having, I want to say close to a year, 6 months a year, somewhere in that ballpark, where he's not been running with us. He is holding his own. Take a second to go ahead and thank Brian Pierce here for all he does for the league. Take a look here. He has been caught by the 78 of Gary Sapinski. Gary Sapinski looking to put that 6 truck a lap down. Not that he needs to. 9 seconds separate himself and Michael Pegg here. 9 laps left in this race. He can't coast sort of front here. But regardless, only 6 trucks currently on the lead lap. Michael Pegg starts to make up just a little bit of ground. He was 9-2, now he's 9-0. So he's catching a little bit of a pull, maybe, from the guys ahead of him. He's definitely getting into the corners faster than Gary Sapinski. As we see, he's showing currently at 8.5, and that should open up here again as they go down the straightaways. And it did a little bit, but 8.5. Michael looks like he's catching Gary Sapinski about a half a second lap. That's that kind of buffer that Gary has. He can sort of afford to let erode slowly. See, that truck is tight. He's getting very, very close to that wall. Not used to seeing him right up against that wall there on that turn 2 exit. See how hard he's having to fight to get that thing down to the yellow line. We can see the 6 not really having the easiest time keeping it on the bottom. That's what these long green flag runs will do. I mean, handling on the vehicle just goes away. It doesn't want to turn. I bet you when we talk to Mike Pegg, if he finishes in the top 3, he'll tell us, how quickly the handling went away on this truck. He pretty reliably is able to tell us how that truck feels for him in a long run. Gary Sapinski will be able to tell us just about the same thing. We'll keep his interview short. His voice sounds like it's just about tapped out. Or at least it did during practice. These guys both definitely look like they're struggling to get this truck around the track. Go ahead and we'll take a look. I bet you that 78's putting a lot of wheel in this truck to get it, to make this turn down here in turn 3. Keep right along with him behind that 6 truck. Not as much wheel as the 9 John Helton was having to put in when we did our last ride along with him, but still putting a lot of wheel in this truck to be able to get it to turn. Willing to bet you he's trail braking just to get the rotation in the back of this truck. And he's about the only way that he's still able to make it down there. A lot of guys on similar age tires not able to make the pace that this 78 can. He appears to have settled in a groove right behind the 6 truck. Not certain if maybe he doesn't feel the need to go around him, or he might not have the truck anymore to get around him. As they continue lap 97 of 100, closing in towards the end of this race. Michael Pegg appears to have plateaued a little when it comes to action. Gary Sapinski, he's got a bunch of lap traffic ahead of him. He just caught the 111 of John Henderson. Got the 9 of John Held ahead of that. Henderson obviously go up the track. 777 of Michael Pegg by. There's a little lift. Michael Pegg able to clear Henderson since his sights on the 9. There's a lot of big traffic. The 9 of John Helton, Gary Senior, the 19 of Ben Gear, all running in front of him. These guys are all racing in position. Just in case we get a caution, they're all trying to be the first car a lap down. But in their race to do that, they're just holding that 777 up. Michael Pegg going to shoot them through wide for a second there. Maybe no. Went back for that cutback there on the 9 on the inside. John Held, as we are lap 99, 2 laps to go. So he should go ahead and he should clear this lap traffic there. 9 will let him go. I don't think he will, though. They're real close. Both of them every inch of track to be able to make up time. The 9 may be expecting there's going to be a caution. Unfortunately for him, 78 has taken the white flag. Next flag will be in this race. Here's Sapinski 9 seconds ahead of Michael Pegg. So I'll go ahead. I believe it is safe to say, because he wrecks it right here, Gary Sapinski is your winner. Go ahead and stick with this here. He comes down the front stretch for the final time. Gary Sapinski under the weather? I don't think so. Finishes first, second place coming out of turn 4 right now. That is the 777 of Michael Pegg, comes across the line. That should give the 3rd place to the 50 of Todd Willis, coming out of turn 4 fairly unopposed. Behind him will be the 51 of Craig Mayer. Good recovery drive from Craig. Remember, he was involved in that caution in that incident fairly early on. Comes back for a 4th place finish. And the 4 of Larry Eddy will be your 5th place finisher. Congratulations to all these drivers. Gary Sapinski brings it here to the start-finish line and burns it down. Go ahead and collect your top 3. A little bit of a chat. Alrighty, we have our top three. I want to go ahead and start with the 50 of Todd Willis. Todd, this is William in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir. I'm here, William. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Fantastic run from you tonight. Nashville is not an easy track, especially not an easy track to bring it home here, even for a podium finish. I want to go ahead and talk us through your race tonight. You were pretty quiet most of the race.
Yeah, well, yeah, we had a good car. I kind of just followed Gary and Michael and kind of went in when they pitted and just tried to manage those tires. It's just such a tire track here, just with the front right wear and just tried to keep a car in the track, and it was an accident-free race. It was a great race with everybody.
I consider a lot of respectful racing out here. I mean, looking at everyone looked like they were battling an ill-handling truck. I mean, as the race went on, riding along with some of you just had to keep out of the throttle for so long. Was the truck just tight, or what was it doing?
Well, the truck was, but I just kind of diamond that entry corner up, and I had a little bit different line, I think, and it kind of just paid off at the end. And I hadn't raced in about a month, so it was good to get back with all you guys and get back in here.
Well, for a month off, coming home, putting it inside the top three, I think that's a fantastic way to tell everybody you're back.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. It's a great league, and you do a great job on the commentator, man. Y'all do awesome league here.
Well, we appreciate that. Definitely want to congratulate you on a fantastic race you ran this evening. Is there anyone you want to thank before we let you go?
Really just a lucky dog league, man, and all the fellow drivers here. Everybody's super respectful, and I can't call that any bad foul names here, man. Everybody does a great job, so just appreciate you and the whole league itself.
Well, thank you, Todd, and hopefully we get to talk to you next time.
That sounds good, William. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you. Alrighty, and that'll move us to our second place finisher here, 777 of Michael Pegg. Michael's William in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir.
So it looked like you came down pit road a little bit earlier than Gary did, but when he came off pit road, he was further ahead of you than when you pitted.
Yeah, his second set of tires, he was a rocket ship. He's not feeling good. He was ready to go to bed.
Yeah, I think he's lying to all of us. I think he's fine. He's just got a voice changer going on because he commanded this race the whole time.
Yeah, he was gone. That second set of tires, he checked out.
So we were talking with some of the other drivers during practice, and they were talking about how loose this truck was on fresh tires and then how tight it was getting as things were going on. What was your impression of the truck as the race went on?
Same thing. Yeah, it got tight, but a little bit looser would have been good. I mean, it was a good setup. I had great. That first tire where I actually got better than Gary. I got 57 on the right front, the first one.
Yeah, and then with Nashville being as brutal on the tires as it is, that's really good tire wear because I think you ran close to 50 laps before you came down pit road.
Yeah, Gary was looking at the lap times. He said we were pretty much identical on the first run. The second run, he was just gone. I looked up. He had all that traffic. He had a lot of draft, and he just checked out. He was dialed in.
Yeah, I mean, I got to ask because it looked like you had quite a bit of lap traffic you were having to deal with there towards the end as the runs went on. How hard was it to make up time on anybody?
It's really hard. I don't know. It's just so much speed. You can't make up. You can just only do just a tenth at a time. It's not like you could just at the mile and a half where you can just dominate. I don't know. It just seems to be a real tight, short track. You can only do so much top end, and you got to get right back in the brake.
I gotta say, I wish I got my computer fixed before this evening because I'd have loved to have run this one with you guys. Looked like you guys are having a blast down there.
It was slick at first, but once you got in the groove, you just had to. It was just a lot of hard work. Just get down there and start digging.
Well, definitely want to congratulate you on a second place finish, especially at a track like Nashville Superspeedway. This track looks a lot easier to run than it really is.
Yeah, I was going to boycott tonight if Gary didn't come. I wasn't going to come. I was going because he was sick. I don't really like Nashville, but it worked out great for me tonight. I'm really happy.
Well, congratulations on your runner-up finish. Is there anyone you want to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, thank Todd for coming back, joining us. He had a great run tonight. Gary for winning. I want to thank God himself. I want to thank all the Lucky Dog people that watch, all the Lucky Dog members. want to thank Lucky Dog Broadcasting. I want to thank you, William, especially. Brian, for taking care of everything. And I want to thank Cash, Molly, Tracy, and Winston.
Well, thank you, Michael, for taking time to talk with us, and hopefully we get to talk to you next time.
Thanks, sir.
All right. Might help if I move the right guy to the right channel there. So we'll go ahead and we'll go to our leader here, the 78 of Gary Sapinski. Gary, who's William in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, I can tell that at least so far as we can tell, you still don't feel well. I don't know that I buy that entirely, especially with that dominating performance. So we'll keep it short and sweet. Just go ahead and just tell us about your race, because I don't think there was a point at this entire event where you were not in command.
I told Michael I need to get this race over with, so I'm going to just put the hammer down and run hot laps. He was like, okay. I think if he was up here with me, I think there could have been a good race up here. If he would have qualified a little better, we could have had some fun together out there. I actually kind of had some fun, weeding my way through the traffic there and everything. It was definitely a lot of fun. Yeah, but overall the truck felt great to me. I thought it felt really good. I gave Michael a couple tips with the brake bias. We both liked it. It kind of like you think we came off the same truck, and we came out with the same setup, and it really felt like it. We both came out here and ran a really good race tonight, and it felt really good.
I concur. Both of you ran an absolutely phenomenal race. I'm going to go ahead and say I mentioned it in the broadcast. I don't know if you were drinking Dayquil, NyQuil, do it all. I couldn't tell you, but I think we need to add that to the Lucky Dog list of banned substances, because you had command all night long. There was never any doubt.
Yeah, it's funny. I tried to go on last night, and I just couldn't do it. I think I ran like a couple laps. I got off, and I was like, I can't do it. Tonight, I probably should have did the same thing, but I don't know. I just felt like I need to get my mind off of being sick a little bit. And kind of helped, but maybe I'll go right to bed now because I'm tired.
That's the other thing Nashville will do, is it'll wipe you out after even after 100 laps. So, I mean,
yeah,
I'm going to go ahead. I guess we'll go ahead. We'll let you go. You get some sleep. But is there anyone you want to thank before we wrap this up?
I'm going to thank you. You did a really great job tonight. I appreciate it. I'm going to thank Lucky Dog Racing. I'm going to thank Michael. He's doing a lot for me, and I really appreciate it. And all my teammates and God above, appreciate everything he's been doing for me. And I just want to get some sleep now. So everybody have a good night.
Well, you have a good night, Gary. You get better, and hopefully we get to talk to you next time.
Thank you.
All righty. And that will go ahead and get us through our top three. Want to appreciate everyone, and to take a second to appreciate everyone coming out, watching this race, giving us a thumbs up if you like what you saw. If you didn't like what you saw, maybe you give us a thumbs down and give us a comment. I don't want, we like the engagement. That's what we like. So the more of you we see in chat, the more of you we see liking and commenting after the fact. We love you. We love all of you. We appreciate you. Hopefully you're enjoying this as much as we are. We will have our late model stock Fridays tomorrow night, Xfinity Saturdays the night after. We all get to enjoy the Cup race at Las Vegas on Sunday. Hopefully it's a good one. Finally go somewhere other than a super speedway. Then we will be back racing after our day off on Monday with our Gen 4 Cup cars. Hear from me again on Tuesday for our Gen 6 mile-and-a-half series. Hopefully we see you then. But until next time, have a good one.